Welcome back, everybody. In this video we're going to talk about how unstable the S17 Plus boards are and when to call it quits. So a bit of a different video. I'm just going to show you real quick what's happening with this board. This board I've had for a number of weeks now, and let's see what the tester says right now. And 0. Okay, perfect. So as you can see, 0 ASICs found, but this board is really highly intermittent. Okay, and that's a huge problem. So basically, the story with this is part of 3 boards that a customer sent me, and I fixed them. They were a little unstable at first, but I thought they were good enough the first time I fixed them. Sent it back to him. They did sustain some damage during shipping, so he sent them back. And here we are, basically. So fixed replaced all the chips that had the heat sinks ripped off. And now that I'm trying to test the boards, I'm really having some issues with this. So the boards, or this board specifically, just seems to, like I said, be really intermittent. So I would put in the miner, it would drop after, anywhere from 10 minutes to a couple days. Would put it back on the bench, try to test it, and it'll fix itself. It makes troubleshooting really hard, basically. So this is just what I want to show you in this video, and we're going to talk about what we can do, maybe, or also maybe I'll try to get some suggestion from you guys in the comments. See what you think. Okay, so we saw that this board was showing 0 ASICs. Okay, so I'm going to take my little jumper, and I did take some notes from the last time I tried to test it, so I am going to try for 5. And so what I'm going to do before I start the test, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to short the chain after 5 ASICs. The tester should say 5, and as soon as I see 5, I'm going to remove my probes, and then I'll see if the board goes down to 0, which would tell me that it's good up to 5, or if the board jumps to 65, and then if that happens, then I don't have any data really, because I don't know if the board was already at 65 and I shortened it to 5, or if the board was at 0 and I made the first 5 chips work. So I don't know if that makes sense, or if that's clear, but anyway, so that's good. I'm gonna just get set up here with my probe. Come on, like so, and we'll start the test. Get my 1.8 and watch the tester. So I see 5, I take off my probes, and I'm at 65. So as you can see, the board fixed itself. So I literally had, a couple seconds to do what I had to do, and the board, I did not collect any troubleshooting data as part of this. So what I can do now is now that it's fixed, quote unquote, fixed, I'm gonna go throw that in a miner and see how long it lasts for, and then when it drops to 0, then I'm gonna be back on the bench and probably do the same thing all over again. So I know, I'm like 99% sure that it's a chip that's bad again, mostly bad, and then as soon as it's powered on, then it just wakes up, or something internally closes, some sort of contacts or whatever. Anyway, and that chip starts working. So unfortunately, I don't, that's all I can do really for troubleshooting, is put it on the bench and try to test it. And you saw that within one iteration of the tester, I had my 5 chips, and as soon as I removed it, then the next iteration was 65. So it literally takes only seconds, which makes troubleshooting basically impossible. And so anyway, I'll go through that in a miner, and we'll be back next time it drops. Okay. Okay, it's been about 2 hours since I went and put the board in the miner, and it just dropped again, or I just noticed it anyway. So I'm gonna do the same thing I did previously, and hopefully gonna get some data out of it this time. So I didn't fire up the tester yet. The board is hooked up, as you can see, but I did not fire up the tester yet, because I want to make sure that I get every single second that I can. All right, so do that. Get my 1.8, 5. I took off my probe, And 0. Okay, so that was a good test. So the fact that it went back to 0, and the board won't shut down right now. Okay, so the fact that it went back to 0 is telling me that it's really my probes that were making the board work up to number 5. So what I'm gonna do now is write down that 5 was good, or up to 5. And hold on here. I'm just gonna have to reconnect my tester real quick. All right, so 5 was working. So now we go ahead and try for 15, which is the next set of test points here. So I'm gonna do the same thing. Try to go for 15, and as soon as I see 15 on my tester, I'm gonna remove my probes, and hopefully it's gonna go back to 0, and we're gonna have another data point. Nope, not this time. So yeah, so we made progress, but still couldn't test 15. So as you can see, it's a really long process, and it's a bit of a pain. And honestly, I've already replaced a couple chips based on that all signs were pointing to, but the board just keeps failing in different ways. So I'm sure like next time it fails, you know, number 5 might not work again. So I guess my question for you guys, and if there's any other, you know, experienced repair people that might want to chip in. So when do we call it quits? Like how, you know, I mean, I've worked on these boards for weeks at this point, and you know, I've replaced a bunch of chips out of my pocket because, you know, as part of customer service and warranty work and whatnot. But basically all the money that the customer paid initially is basically all gone in chips right now, because, you know, chips aren't exactly cheap these days. So what would you guys do with this board? Would you call it a parts board? Would you I'm not sure what else there is to do really. So any input is appreciated. In the meantime, I'm gonna go check that back into a miner, and maybe I'm gonna have to wait a couple more hours, and maybe I'll be able to do one more test, get one more data point, and go from there. So I'll see you soon. Alright guys, it is actually the next day. The board dropped sometime during the night, so here we are again. Looking at my notes from yesterday, looked like we checked that it was good up to chip number 5. So now we're gonna try again for 15, and hopefully we're gonna be able to get some more info. Start the test, put my probe. 15, I remove them. 65, so once again, no data point. So this is really frustrating, but and you know, like I don't know how many hours I've sank into this board, but this is just not going anywhere. And I also forgot to mention yesterday that I did try to reflow this board. No result, no difference whatsoever. I also tried to freeze it, also no difference. So I really don't think it's like a solder contact issue. I really think it's a chip issue, and finding that chip is proving to be close to impossible, because there's no way to troubleshoot it more than, you know, a couple seconds at a time, and even then you're not getting any valid data from that troubleshooting. So let me know what you guys would do in the comments. You know, this customer is getting pretty frustrated, obviously, and you know, rightfully so. But I just wanted to make a little video and document what it's like to work on certain S17 Plus boards. I do have. This is definitely the worst one that I have right now, but I do have 2 more boards that are showing similar symptoms. So just be aware of that. If you ever send your board to a repair company, whether it's me or somebody else, then yes, they might have your boards for months, but you know, the initial fix is always fairly easy. It never takes a whole lot of time. It's the follow-up testing that you know, could go either way really, and in some cases then it just proves to be like almost impossible to completely fix. So alright, so hopefully you get something out of this, and hopefully if you're running into some similar frustrations, then just know that you're not the only one, but this is just the nature of the 17 series. Alright, have a good one.